Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how I created this little etched heart design on this candle votive. So I made the design very simply just on the ScanNCut machine and cut it from vinyl as a template. So I hope you'll like the project. Okay, so what I did to make the template to do the etching on the little glass jar I've just shown you is went to the patterns, to the basic shapes. I got a square, I sized it to 2.25 inches and clicked set. Then I went to add and I went back to the basic shapes and I scrolled down and I found the heart. And then this time I made this heart 1.5 inches high. And clicked set. Then I went to the icon that is in the top left hand corner that has the square, triangle and circle. And then I came over to the multi-selection box, which is the 3 red boxes, and I selected that. And then I chose the icon on the right, which has a red box around everything because I want to select both items. So that's now made those both red, which means they're both selected. And I said OK, and then it came to the multi-directional arrows, which is the icon next to the rubbish bin, and I selected that. And here is where you'll find the alignment icon. It's next to the magnifying glass. So I selected the alignment icon and I want to center these two items now vertically and horizontally to each other. So because they're both selected, if I select on the bottom left icon, which is center vertically, and then I select the right icon, which is center horizontally, it centers them both together. I'm going to say OK, OK again, select this icon again that's got the triangle and circle with the red box around it. That's now grouped them. You can see there's only one red box now around the outside. So that means that's a group now, so I can move it anywhere I want. Now, I've got a piece of vinyl, black vinyl with the paper still on. This measures 2.5 by about 3.5. If you remember, the square was 2.25, so this is bigger than the square, which is what I want. I'm going to apply this to my cutting mat. Don't know if you can see that. Just press it down firmly with the front of the spatula. And then I'm going to cut that shape out of this piece of vinyl. So the first thing I'm going to do is load the mat. I'm going to come into the settings and make sure the background is on a light colour because I've got a black piece of vinyl here and I want to position that shape on here so I can see it. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to do a background scan. So now I can see that the background is nice and light. I can see how to position my shape on there. I'm going to say OK. No, I'm not. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to this icon in the top left-hand corner and click on the magnifying glass and zoom to 400% and scroll down a little so that I can position this better. And that's fine. I'm going to say OK, and now I'm ready to cut. So I'm going to set my blade and cut pressure for vinyl. So I'm going to put my blade at just over 1. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to go back to the settings and I'm going to go to the cut pressure and that's on -1, so I'm going to leave it on that and say OK, OK, and then I'm going to cut this design. Okay, so that's cut. Now before I remove it from the mat, I'm just going to try and lift the vinyl off the backing paper, just to make sure it has cut, because it's been a while since I've cut vinyl and that looks as though it's cut fine. So I'm going to say OK, unload the mat, and here it is on the mat. Now basically what I want to do is peel away all the waste first of all, just so I can see the square and the heart. So I'm going to lift it off the mat, move the mat out of the way, and I'm going to lift away the waste. So I'm just going to use this, I'm using a piercing tool. I'm going to peel away the waste, so I'm just left with the square, and throw that away. Now the bit that we want here is the outside edge, so we want to get rid of the heart that's in the middle. So again, I'm just going to, using this piercing tool, lift the heart off the design, and I don't need that, so I'm going to put that there, and it's this that we actually need. Now I'm going to apply this to my glass jar, or it's a candle holder actually. So it's been cleaned, and I'm just going to give it another little wipe. And try not to get any fingerprints on the outside. And then I'm going to peel this off here. And I'm going to position this on my jar. And try to do this so that you can see it. Move all the debris out of the way. Trying to get it straight. You don't want any air bubbles in it, so just do this bit very slowly. And then I'm going to press it down firmly. I've got a bit of a bubble there, but I think if I just keep pressing and working it down, it'll probably be okay. So I'm just going to keep rubbing over it. So basically that's what it looks like now. And I'm going to apply the etching cream now to the glass section here. So you need to read your instructions on your etching cream and follow them to the letter, because it's quite abrasive stuff. So I'm just going to dab mine on now and leave it for the required amount of time. Okay, so this is the etching cream that I'm using now. I've had this for years and I bought it off the internet, and I honestly don't know where I got it from. But there are other etching creams on the market. I think there's one called Armour Etch, something like that. They may be different colours. As I say, just be very, very careful when you're using. Okay, so mine's blue. As I say, just be very, very careful when you're using this stuff. It's quite gloopy, it's not runny. So basically mine came with this sponge applicator. So you now just dab this on quite liberally onto the glass section. And the reason that I made the square bigger than the heart was to give me some room, because obviously when you're dabbing this on, you're going to go onto your vinyl, and it just gives you a bit of leeway. So that was why I cut my square at 2.25 inches, but my heart is actually only 1.5 inches in size. So you just dab this all on liberally, and say it is quite thick and gloopy. I think they're all of a similar consistency. And then you leave it, and you just leave it alone and leave it to work its magic based on the amount of time that your instructions say. It's generally only a few minutes, I think, from memory. I'm just going to go and have another look at mine in a few minutes. But that's how it's looking now, and I'm just going to leave that to sit on there. Okay, that's been sat on there for a few minutes now. I'm going to scrape this etching cream back into the jar, or as much of it as I can get off. And then I'm going to put the lid back on that. And as I say, make sure you follow the instructions on your etching cream to the letter, because, you know, it's very dangerous stuff and you need to use it in a well ventilated area. And basically what I'm going to do now is go and run that under cold water to get rid of the remaining etching. And then I'm going to come back and I'll peel this off and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm back. I've washed the etching cream off. Just going to give it a little bit of a dry inside, and now I'm going to peel off the vinyl that was the template for the heart. And hopefully, if this has worked, it should reveal just going to give this a wipe. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's actually etched the heart out of the front. I've got a minor little imperfection just there, which is where I must have had a little bit of a bubble in the vinyl. That's what I say, when you apply the vinyl, you've got to press it down firmly, make sure that it fully adheres. There's obviously a little bit of the etching cream got under the vinyl there, but it's ready now to have its little tea light or candle put into it. So I just thought I'd show you how to do that, because I've never shown you how to do etch glass before. So I hope you found it helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.